Hey there, and welcome to the Create With podcast. This is where we talk about building apps, agents, and automations without writing any code using AI. I'm James. I'm here with Kieran.
Hello, everyone.
Nice to be back. We've had a little bit of a break, just coming on from the end of the summer, but we're back now, and there's a huge amount for us to catch up on. So even just this upcoming week, it looks like we've got some big announcements. So I think we're going to talk a little bit about OpenAI's agent builder that's been rumored is going to be announced or has been announced imminently, and also the rumored Gemini 3 launch, which should be happening this week. But there's also been tons of other updates in the kind of the no code and AI world. So we'll go going through all of those, as well as some updates on the projects we've been working on ourselves. So maybe that's a good place to dive in, Kieran, because I think you've been working quite a lot on your Typoro project, haven't you? So it'd be great to hear what you've been doing with that.
Yeah. So for those that don't remember or don't recall, my Typoro app is a SaaS built on Bubble, and the idea is that it helps people to write and schedule content for LinkedIn. So if you're trying to build an audience on LinkedIn, it's really difficult to think of stuff to write about every day, but LinkedIn really rewards consistency. So one post a day is basically what you're supposed to do if you want to grow. So we built this tool using Bubble that takes your kind of messy thoughts and turns them into a nice optimized LinkedIn post. But we found that, well, I find certainly, but I think a lot of our users find it's still difficult to come up with ideas for things to post about. So the last week or so, I've been working on a feature which is basically an AI research agent. So now when you do a post, and this includes when you have just signed up and you do your first ever post, it will take the thing you've written about for that first post and it will turn it into a topic on your account. So it will remember you like talking about that specific topic, and then it will go off onto the internet and it will do research on that topic, and it will come back with some insights and save those down into your database, and it will have links to the sources it used to get those insights, and then it will suggest some new posts. It will write the post for you based on your writing style, which you specify when you first onboard, and the insights it's found. So the idea is the more posts you actually do, the more topics you get in there, the more it will research it and the more ideas it will have, and then it will just send you an email every day saying, hey, I've written a new post for you, just like click here if you want to post it, or click here if you want to edit it. And because it is getting a lot better at kind of mimicking your writing style, the results are really impressive, actually. They're just quite surprising how good it is, because I think the last time I was really working on it, GPT-5 definitely wasn't out. So as soon as they updated all the models to GPT-5, it changed. It drastically improved in its quality of output, which is just, it goes to show again, these models that keep changing, they can completely alter the way your app works without you actually having to do anything. So I'm quite excited about this feature because I think it's going to make certainly the onboarding much easier for people, and the idea that it's going out there and doing research is quite attractive, I think. So it uses NA10 actually to do the research. So I've got a little agent in NA10. Bubble calls the agent, tells it the topic. The NA10 agent goes out and then it returns the results and they get saved down into Bubble. So this is the first time I probably linked up Bubble with NA10, but it's working really well. Obviously, I could have built the agent in Bubble, but I just think NA10 seems to be more focused on that use case than, again, tying two systems together. Pretty excited about that. I mean, I know that's basic compared to the stuff you're doing on your projects, but for me, it was quite exciting.
Yeah, no, I think that's such a good combination of NAN and Bubble, and it's something that I've used a couple of times, and even on the Create With website we have a bunch of agents for researching events or looking for news from tools that we cover, and again, that's all in N8N connected back to Bubble. And did you connect it all through the API connector, or or was it with webhooks as well?
Yeah, there's a webhook and an API connection.
Nice. Yeah. That's how we did it. So a bit like, so you use the API connector to kick off the request, and then when the N8N finishes the job, it posts it back to back-end workflow on Bubble, which has worked really well. And we've had a couple of agents running on the Create With site now. They run every day. They've been running for months flawlessly, like really, really stable and reliable, which is something that sometimes you can hear people saying about agents, is that they aren't reliable, but we certainly the few that we've got have been pretty good. So been interesting to follow.
Yeah, definitely reliability is a key topic for agents, and really it's the main thing I think that is preventing them from being rolled out everywhere in production, because you still get some random actions that they take, and things can break for no apparent reason. But as the models improve, the consistency improves as well. And I think as we've said before, kind of testing and checking the work of agents is going to actually be a huge kind of requirement or need in the future. Just as you would have like oversight of a team of employees, you need some way of having oversight of a team of agents as well. Probably more important. So as this stuff improves, then the use of agents will just become more and more interesting to people.
That's it. So it's kind of interesting to follow along with all that, and it does tie into a potential bit of big news that we're hearing this week, rumored to be coming out of OpenAI. I think probably by the time we publish this, it may be confirmed. But this new kind of AI agent capability in OpenAI looks like it's going to be released into a developer preview. And essentially, from the kind of the leaks that I've seen so far, it looks very much like N8N. So it's a canvas style UI where you have multiple nodes connected together. So like triggers, AI agents, tools, MCP servers, all that kind of stuff. So potentially this is going to be absolutely huge moment, I think, where this kind of AI and automation goes mega mainstream. Because I imagine that this will be kind of put into ChatGPT on the main menu at the left at some point when it's kind of reached a bit of maturity, and maybe developers have added a bunch of apps for it. I'm guessing maybe that's why they're going to have it at the dev event today, is to try and get interest from developers to start building with it. But it looks very, very, very promising. And maybe one of the more interesting bits about it that I've seen rumored is it's got this concept of widgets, which are going to be dynamically generated UI that you can use to interact with the agent. And that's something that I've not really seen in many other tools. Maybe some have started touching on it, but I think that's potentially what makes this so interesting, is that it's going to be able to have its own custom interface to interact with the agents and get them to do stuff. So I'm really, really excited about this announcement. It's got a lot of hype about it, and I'm sure that probably won't be the only thing that's announced at the developer day. So it sounds like there's quite a lot coming with it. But it's, again, the whole industry could be about to pivot again or be turned around.
Yeah, I mean, if you have an AI agent that's obviously got access to all these different tools, and it now has a custom interface, it's basically an app, right? It's software that's doing things, and it has a UI just like you would build in Bubble or with code. So there's going to be so much overlap between, is this a SaaS or is it just an agent with a UI that you pay for on a monthly basis or something like that? It's kind of, a different way of thinking about things, but ultimately it's going to do the same as a lot of your current SaaS tools that you use, except I guess you'll be able to completely customize it to exactly what you want, and it will already have access to all your data. I mean, this sounds kind of bad for the SaaS industry, I feel. Because you will just be, say you're using a SaaS to generate automated videos, whatever, for your social media, you can just create an AI agent that does that, which I've seen loads of people do in N8, and they just make quite a complex agent flow which generates videos and uploads them. But you can do it completely custom, and I'm sure you won't actually have to do much of the building yourself. You can just prompt an AI to build the agent for you. So yeah, things are
moving quickly as always, and
the world is changing too fast.
Yeah, it is. It is a bit frightening. I think maybe I saw Sam Altman tweet, "We're entering the fast fashion era of SaaS," a while ago, which I think probably gives you a bit of an idea of, yeah, I think you're probably right with that, and maybe this agents thing is, really going to make it so that if people want to build an app for one specific task, to do one thing, instead of going out and taking out a license, they might just build it through OpenAI and use it through that as this kind of one mega platform. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what happens with SaaS and the tools that can survive that transition. And again, I think I've read a lot about if SaaS platforms, maybe things they can do to try and make themselves more relevant is to have really good APIs, make MCP servers, all this kind of stuff, so that AI tools and agents can use them. Sign up and use your SaaS as an agent kind of thing. So that's definitely something I've been thinking about as well, and it's on my list to add in kind of MCP functionality into my own app and stuff, just because I'd love for people to be able to use what I'm making through ChatGPT, for example, and to be able to query it. So I think there probably are bits like that, but yeah, long term, I do think SaaS probably is numbered. Like, it does feel a bit like that, unless there's some kind of real moat around it. It does feel like these AI agents are going to eventually, take over a lot of that kind of grunt work.
My question is, right, at the moment it feels to me like maximum 5% of the population of the world are actually interested in building stuff, software, automations. They have the right mindset. They're curious about this. As it gets easier and easier, I mean, it's already got a lot easier, as we know, in the last few years to build things. And I feel like that's expanded the pie in terms of the number of people who are interested in building. It's expanded it slightly, but I just kind of feel that still 95% of people won't be interested, even if it becomes as easy as ask ChatGPT to make an app for you. I'm just think most people don't seem that interested in doing this stuff, and I wonder if it's going to change. It's like, we've all got phones now which have the potential to make you can make little videos and films and stuff with your own phone, but I don't think many people do that.
No, and it's a bit like the whole creator versus consumer dynamic on social networks. Like, there's actually a very small proportion of people who ever really post anything. The vast majority are consumers only of that stuff, and I imagine those ratios will stay the same as we get into building stuff. Yes, a few more people will start building with AI, but I think for me what the most likely outcome is that the people who are makers and interested in doing stuff will just become way more effective and able to build 100x what they were before. So yeah, while those kind of the proportions might not change massively, I imagine the output will be gigantic. And then again, at some point, AI is going to be able to start, initiate requests itself to generate new things, and that's when it's going to get very interesting. Again, some of that was touched on a little bit by Jonas Tempelstein at our conference last year, and how companies are eventually going to operate with multiple AI agents in them, and the importance of every one of those agents having the full context of everything that's happening at the company and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very interesting to follow along, but it is kind of overwhelming, the speed with which all of this is happening. Again, we've got the other big announcement that's kind of teed up for this week is Gemini 3 from Google, and that's kind of rumored again to outflank GPT-5 and the latest Anthropic Sonnet 4.5 models as well. So it really does feel like every week we're kind of hopscopping from one kind of major breakthrough to the other. I mean, last week Sora 2, which we haven't really covered, was, has kind of gone viral, and it seems every second post on Instagram is a Sora 2 Michael Jackson video now. There's just like it's really, really kind of shocking how quickly these tools are getting adopted now. Like, I feel like, even a year ago, it was taking people a while to latch on to this is the new thing, this is the new model. But it seems now the second it's out, the demand is through the roof. People are kind of really excited to try this stuff as soon as it comes out.
Yeah, I think when it comes to stuff like creating funny videos, people, maybe 90% of the population are interested in doing that. But actually creating useful or high quality stuff that takes a bit more effort and time, I have my doubts.
Yeah. I think there's still right now I think there's no kind of replacement for like a well-guided YouTube video tutorial like that's coming from a human that's actually showing you through stuff. That's my preferred way of learning a lot of this stuff. When it comes out, I'll have ChatGPT on the side to ask questions as I'm working on something, but nearly always I'll start with a tutorial from a human talking me through, in normal, easy to understand language, how this new thing works. So I imagine we're probably going to end up covering this OpenAI agent tool a fair bit, because we've covered N8N, Make, Zapier a lot, and this is going to be a very interesting new addition to that family of tools, and maybe how even this will interact with some of those. That's going to be interesting to see after Dev Day. Maybe these tools are also going to be able to, go cross-platform and talk to each other. So I can't wait to see what comes out of that later today. So a couple of other bits we could touch on are maybe some of the developments with the create with and what's coming up. So October is actually quite a busy month, and we have a ton of events coming up this month all around the world, pretty much. Actually, we have I think this is our record number of meetups happening within 1 month, and that we've made a directory on createwith.com where you can see them all coming up, and we've got the next one that's coming up is in Madrid on the 7th. So that's actually tomorrow. And then we've got the one after that on October the 13th in Barcelona. Kieran and I will also be in London for the Bubble tour, which is coming up on the 15th and 16th. So we're doing a Create With meetup for that as well. And then later in the month on the 22nd, we've got a meetup in Bristol. And then on the 29th, we have one here in Brighton with Brighton AI. And some of the other kind of news that's coming up, it's hard to track all these different AI agents that are happening right now. But Softr have made some really interesting announcements around this in the last few weeks, haven't they, Kieran?
Yeah, so they've just announced what they're calling the database AI agent. So if you haven't used Softr before, it's like one of the quickest and easiest ways, I think, to build all kinds of apps based on your data. So you can connect it to Airtable or to Google Sheets or to another database, and then it will just kind of pop up a portal or a CRM or whatever use case you need, and then you can customize how it works. Essentially, I think they recognize that the majority of business apps that people need are very, very similar in their functionality. So Softr just makes it super easy to spin one of these up. But the thing they've just announced is being able to use AI agents within your database. So if you're using the Softr database and you imagine you have a table of clients or something in a client list, you can now add in an AI agent which will go through row by row, looking at each of your clients, or it could be products, and it will draft a custom email to the client based on the information that's in that row in the database, or it will look up the product, generate images, or write product descriptions, or do research on the web. But not just for one thing, it will do it over your entire database. So you can very quickly add in columns where you're like, okay, give me a custom funny greeting for this person, and it will just do it for the entire database. So, I've been wanting this kind of feature for so long, because often I have like spreadsheets full of data and I'm like, I need to go through each of these and even just like correct spellings or normalize the data in one of the columns. So having an AI agent that can do that, and you can give it, prompt it and tell it which piece of data to use where, and when it needs to go and search the web or do something else, is just very, very useful. So I thought that's really cool, and I think we'll see that more and more in all of these database solutions, because it just seems like a no-brainer really when you've got AI, that you should be able to run that AI over a ton of data.
That's it, and that's not necessarily something that's really as easy as it should be in a lot of tools right now. So that's really great to see Softr kind of being at the forefront of that. But yeah, it's not something that we're seeing that much, unless you're using a tool like N8N to pull data out of a database and then analyze it. But to have it actually built into the platforms is amazing. Another demo I saw from Matt, actually, who writes our newsletter over the last week, was the Notion agent as well, which I thought was quite cool. How you could tag individual pages in Notion and query it, or even store prompts in Notion as pages. I thought that was very cool. So yeah, it's kind of exciting again to see all these different tools coming together, and some of them doing, a lot have got similar ideas, but they're implementing them in different ways, specifically to their platforms. So that's been really exciting to see.
Yeah, I think, AI agents are amazing when they're on their own, but when they're connected to your data, they can do like magical things. And when they're integrated in a tool that already has all your data in it, so like Softr or Notion, where some people have their entire lives in Notion, if you now have an AI agent that has access to all that data, then it suddenly becomes so much more useful, because you can ask it questions about stuff that happened ages ago. It can research, like read everything in your database very, very quickly, and then pull out information that you completely forgot about, or add new information in. So it's really exciting to see this stuff. And personally, I've always struggled with Notion, but after seeing Matt's demo, I actually thought I need to use Notion a lot more now, because it just looks so cool.
That's it. I'm inspired to give it another try. But yeah, that was some very impressive demos. So I think that's actually it for this week. So if you are interested in finding out more about all this stuff that's happening this week with the OpenAI agents, or the new version of Gemini, then check out the Create With newsletter at createwith.com. That will be out on Tuesday, and we'll have a lowdown of all of this in there. There's also a bit about Softr agents as well in there, the database agents that we were just talking about. So loads of stuff in there this week. So make sure you're signed up for that, and you'll also see a list of all our upcoming meetups. So if you are around in any of those cities, Madrid, Barcelona, Bristol, Brighton, London, then definitely check those out, because we've got all those meetups coming up in October. But yeah, I think that's it for this week. So thank you for listening, and we will see you again very soon.
Cheers, everyone.